Coming to this Mahatma mandir is more like coming back home. And I would just ask one question that how many of you have visited Kutch? How many of you seen Kutch? Okay. Those who have not seen, I would say, see Kutch. Kutch nahi dekha, to kuch nahi dekha. All of us know. So I come from Kutch. And I've just visited Kutch and I'm just like responding to your question now. That what should we do? When I was co-chairing Davos in 2018, of course it's quite old now, but we were saying that it will take 135 years to close the gender gap. And I always used to feel like, are we convinced with that? I said, no, who is going to wait for 135 years, right? And from the previous session, what I'm listening, and the previous presentation which I saw, I did feel that in this gathering, not only just gathering, but the whole vision of 2047 clearly indicates that we are not going to wait for 135 years to close the gender gap, right? That is one that we don't want to wait. Now coming back to how do we address these issue of women empowerment or gender, I would like to take all of you at the very grassroots level and narrate one story that from whom I have learned. These are the women in the drought-stricken area of Maharashtra, wanted to do savings, no education, no schooling, no travel, no exposure. And they wanted to save, but the banks were not ready to open the account. This is 2 decades back. And we thought, why don't we start a bank for women? Where everybody said, you cannot do that. Nobody believed in it. And they said, you cannot read and write, what are you thinking? But you know what women said? We cannot read and write, but we can count. And they challenged the Reserve Bank officer, ask us to calculate the interest of any principal amount. If we fail, don't issue the license. Tell your officers to do it without calculator and see who can calculate faster. Right? I think women have this power. It's our responsibility to tap that power, and they never give up. So I strongly believe that in this situation also, if all women, they have decided, it is actually a matter of us to believe in them. And if you believe in them, as our finance minister said, that we have witnessed how many digital transactions are taking place in this country. And I would like to tell you that I come from a small village in Satara in Maharashtra where our women use QR code to do the payment, right? Who have not been to the school. And I go to New York and Washington DC where I see the dollars, the note in the purse of women. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't say that we are great, but what I'm trying to say is that we have that capacity, we have that potential, and women have that aspiration. It's a matter of tapping them, and actually women-led development we talk about in digitalization, our women have shown to the world that we can achieve it, and I would just end here. That's why
No, I'm not going to let you, because you said that you challenged 135 years. So that's okay. So tell me what you want to achieve by 2030 and what you want to achieve by 2047.
Sure. By 2030, I have a confidence that the whole digitalization in India will bring women at the center in the financial world. And when I say financial world, it's not just doing transaction, but 2 things: leading businesses and creating jobs. That is 2030. Now I come to 2047. We'll have a wealthier women. They will unlock the private capital. and they will invest in women's business.
Great. Dr. Ghosh, I'm coming to you now. You saw in the presentation that urbanization was a core part, a central